This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so following the apparent collapse of Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte Part 2, the rematch this summer, Eddie Hearn has stated that he'd like to get in an opponent signed and sealed this week for Anthony Joshua for August the 12th. Now, Dimitri Salita, who is the promoter and manager of multiple fighters out there like Clarissa Shields, Otto Wallin, and etc. One of them is big baby Jarrell Miller. And Dimitri Salita is offering Jarrell Miller to Anthony Joshua as the opponent for this summer. Now, based on their recent history, that's going to open up a huge can of worms, isn't it? Of course it is. There's going to be people having their opinions of all kinds. Some people will say Anthony Joshua should fight him to give him the beating that many people feel that Jarrell Miller deserves after he failed for multiple PEDs when they should have fought in New York City, a few years ago now. Other people will say that he should never give him the time of day, don't give him that kind of payday and whatever else. Now, of course, ultimately it's going to be down to Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. Now, Eddie Hearn said that he'll never work with Jarrell Miller again. But ultimately, it is a fight that people will watch. They will. You and I will watch that fight. Regardless of how we feel about it, we will watch it. And money rules boxing. It does. So when Eddie Hearn says he'll never work with big baby Jarrell Miller, he probably means he doesn't want to work with big baby Jarrell Miller, but he may do if the opportunity arises. Because ultimately, look what it is that he's doing with Conor Benn at the minute. At the minute, Conor Benn, he's not guilty and he's not innocent. Okay, he's still going through the process. But Eddie Hearn has given him a pass and is still trying to secure him a huge payday. So in some ways, you could say it's a little two-faced of Eddie Hearn in that situation. Some may say. Now, listen, I personally, I want to see that round table between Joshua and Jarrell Miller. Okay, before the fight got pulled, it never quite got aired, but apparently it was quite tasty. So I'd like to see that one, and that would be a good reason to put it out there. Now, should Anthony Joshua give Jarrell Miller an opportunity to earn some money? Jarrell Miller apparently he owes some money to various people, one of them being Eddie Hearn and whatever else. A fight with Anthony Joshua will get that money, and then he can pay back all the people that apparently he owes money to. Of course, he's going to be vigorously tested if, of course, Anthony Joshua agrees to fight him. Now, I think Anthony Joshua probably would fight him. I think Anthony Joshua would like to fight him because he'd love nothing more than to shut this loud mouth up. Because in some ways, he was the catalyst for ultimately what happened with Anthony Joshua, wasn't he? He was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua. He failed those tests with VADA, needed a last-minute replacement. They chose Andy Ruiz Jr., which I said at the time might be a bad idea at that particular moment. They should have took the easier option in Trevor Bryan. But, hey, it is what it is. They chose Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz Jr. beat Anthony Joshua. Of course, he got him back in the rematch, emphatically. But there was a blip that Anthony Joshua will never forget. And it was caused, in part, of course, ultimately Joshua has to take his share of the blame as to what happened in that fight and any kind of reasons as to why he performed the way that he did. But Jarrell Miller was the catalyst for that. Had he not failed PEDs, that fight would have taken place. And who knows, maybe Anthony Joshua would have won on his American debut, and the whole thing that's happened from then till now may not have happened. His confidence would still be high and all that kind of stuff. He'd earn a whole heap more money and all that kind of stuff. So maybe Joshua would like to fight Jarrell Miller just to punch him in his mouth and knock him out. Maybe. But of course, Jarrell Miller is a potential opponent for Tyson Fury at the minute as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua feel about it. Ultimately, people will ask Eddie Hearn, but it's not his decision. Eddie Hearn could say no, but ultimately Anthony Joshua is the boss. Him and 258 management will ultimately make the decision, not Eddie Hearn. So it is going to be interesting, that's for sure. But I suppose the ultimate question is, would you watch the fight? Do you think Jarrell Miller deserves an opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua? Do you think that he's paid his debt, if you like, already, and has now earned the right to fight Anthony Joshua, i.e. get that payday? Or do you think Joshua should just not even give him the time of day? Drop your thoughts below, click on the subscribe, catch you next video.